Good evening, everybody. I welcome each of you who have joined this webinar from different time zones. My name is Feben, 1992 civil pass out and 94 structural engineering, both from PSC Tech, and I'm currently the secretary of the Chennai chapter of the Alumni Association. Thanks for joining us for today's webinar. The Chennai chapter is really happy and proud to host this webinar with a very interesting person about whom I will be talking soon. Our chapter has members from 1959 batch to the latest batch which are active and participate in the alumni activities. Credit goes to all past and present presidents and committee members of the chapter who shoulder the responsibility efficiently and give relevant programs for the alumni. The chapter works alongside the parent chapter for connecting with the alumni. We had been conducting regular monthly talk shows, cultural events, family get-togethers, beach walks for the alumni. However, the last 4 months we are, conducting online webinars like this. And Chennai chapter is in the process of enhancing our digital operations, and we are creating a global online platform for all PSGNs to connect. We have launched an online membership registration that will enable formation of a database for alumni to connect with each other. We have a strong 25-member team of executive committee comprising members from 1962 batch to 2018 batch whose tireless efforts keep our chapter alive and interesting. Thanks to our President Ratna Kumar for this initiative and support from his team and to all the East members. Currently, we are also pursuing formation of a Tech Chamber of Commerce about which we will be announcing soon. So we had conducted, this is the 4th webinar that we are conducting. And we try to ensure that we bring to you accomplished and eminent alumni to speak to all of us. Today's guest speaker is Mr. Annamalai. I'm sure all of you know him. So welcome, Mr. Annamalai.
Thank you, madam.
He's the chief mentor at the We the Leaders Foundation. An ex-civil servant, a farmer, author, sports enthusiast, founder of Core Talent and Leadership Development. He is a multiple personalities into one person. Mr. Annamalai was born in Karur district and belongs to a family of agriculture background. And he pursued his undergraduate Bachelor of Engineering Mechanical in PSG College of Technology. In 2007, he completed. After which he completed his Master of Business Administration with a specialization in Marketing and Strategy at IIM Lucknow. An individual with a desire to contribute to the society, he entered civil service and served in various locations for the period of almost 10 years. He resigned from the civil service in 2019 because he decided to take up public service for motivating the youngsters, primarily focusing on empowerment and the development of youth, and has been outspoken about the same throughout his tenure and beyond. He is now the founder of We the Leaders Foundation and also the founder and co-architect of Core Talent and Leadership Development Private Limited. He is very much interested in entrepreneurship and his favorite hobby is reading. He is well known for his work and has also been called as Karnataka Singham, as you all know, because of his integrity and manful attitude on specific disputes. He was a 2011 batch of IPS officer. He started his police career as the Assistant Superintendent of Police. And then he was later promoted in 2015 as Superintendent of Police. He served there till 2016, after which he was promoted as Deputy Commissioner of Police in 2018. He began his public service with a motto to foster youngsters for the better development of India, believing that rural India has abundant potential for sustainable development. He has received many awards. He received the Vice President of India Award for topping the Director's Assessment for the training period. And he's a winner of Esprit de Corps Award at Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration. He received the Sange Laden Shenga Award for showing exemplary leadership qualities by 1992 batch of IAS officers. And he got the Young Achievers Award at Youth Alumni Congress at our own college. Welcome again, Mr. Annamalai.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah, thank you. So we have Jayanti Kannan, who is the host of the evening, and she's going to interview Mr. Annamalai. She's one of the very active members of the Chennai chapter, and she spearheads many interesting programs of our chapter. We're very enthusiastic towards all activities and supports the alumni activities. Welcome, Jayanti. So she's a 1993 alumnus of PhD Sandwich batch, and she's the joint secretary of the Chennai chapter currently. She's a trainer at Madras Management Association, the past JCREED chairperson of Madras Metro Junior Chamber. She had a 10 years stint at corporate at Crompton Greaves, after which she founded SSS Placement Consultants Private Limited, where she's been doing 12 years recruitment consulting to companies in India and abroad. She's a corporate and in-house trainer, and she engages specialists also for the training as per the client requirement. A passionate trainer herself, she has handled more than 20 batches of in-house training program on campus to corporate. So we're going to have a very interesting session today. During the registration, we have collected a lot of questions from all of you. So what we have done is we have actually gone through all the questions, we have grouped those questions, and that will be taken up today. I request all of you to keep your mics on mute so that the program goes seamlessly. Please also keep the system volumes high and also use headphones for a better audio experience. If time permits, we'll also have a live Q&A session, but we'll try to answer all the questions. So have an exciting session. Over to Jayanti.
Thank you, Febin. Once again, very good evening, friends. On behalf of Chennai chapter and all of you present online, I welcome once again Mr. Annamalai for this event. Basically, this event is designed for first 15 to 20 minutes of Mr. Annamalai's speech, followed by the question answer session. As you are aware that we have already grouped the questions, and we will definitely try to do the justice, and I will put across as many questions as possible to Mr. Annamalai. We have close to 800 registrations from our alumni members across the globe, and we have even our super seniors, passed out in the year 60s and 70s, logged in and waiting, not just for a change, but to listen to the man who is change personified, Mr. Annamalai. There's a famous Albert Einstein's quote which says, "The measure of intelligence is the ability to change." By that measure, Mr. Annamalai Kuppuswamy is an exceptionally intelligent man, one who has fearlessly embraced change. He has charted an extraordinary journey from humble origins to positions of power, and is still willing to risk all of it in order to catalyze social change. அறம் செய்ய விரும்பு ஆத்திச்சூடியின் முதல் வரியை மூலதனமாக கொண்டவர் திரு அண்ணாமலை அவர்கள். So with this, I hand over the air to Mr. Annamalai. Over to you, Mr. Annamalai.
Madam, thank you so much for the kind and the gracious introduction. எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கங்க. To all the super seniors, to all the seniors and batchmates and juniors, it's a real privilege to be a part of this forum. We always keep hearing about the Chennai Alumni Association, the work they do, and the benchmark they have set for other associations. It's a privilege to come here and talk. Like most of you, I've done something in life, something different in life. Today, it's an opportunity that is given to me to talk before you for the next 15-20 minutes about a little bit about myself and more about the vision I have, and more about the path that we all should take in the next 10-15 years for the state of Tamil Nadu and India. So I belong to the 2007 batch Sandwich Mechanical. I come from a town, village called Thottambatti in Karur. So I entered PhD Tech in 2002. The day one I still remember, me and my father, we changed to 2 buses. We went with an iron box, and we stood outside the gate. And I still remember telling my father that Tappa vandrom nenikranga thirumba poyarnu. I told him maybe we came to the wrong place. I somehow felt I don't belong. A small guy from a small town. The whole campus itself was very intimidating. I still remember the day one of PhD, going in and people taking good care of you. And I see that most of the people have come from tier 2 and tier 3 parts of Tamil Nadu and parts of Kerala. So very soon we felt that we belong to PhD Tech. So I'm sure most of you would connect with me. Most of you would feel the similar way. So what started there has taken me in a different path. So today I will talk about it. So the most significant event for me in PFG is PFG Tech taught me what not to do in life. So for many of you, it is about what to do in life. For me, engineering is about what not to do. Maybe third, fourth year of my engineering, sandwich is a 5-year course. I felt I'm not going to sit for placements, not necessarily a corporate placement, because somehow I still didn't have the clarity about what to do. Maybe now people say that I got clarity at 17, at 18 and 19. And unfortunately, I never had clarity 3 years into my engineering, 4 years into my engineering. Somehow I felt what I'm studying in the campus is not connected to the problems I've seen in my village. It's not connected to many of the problems I've seen outside. I still remember very boldly, I called my father in the 5th year beginning, before the placement season was about to start. I told him, Apana, placement ukkarala. Then he told me, what are you planning to do? I said, I don't know, but I need a break and I need to think about it. So I still sat for placement because my sandwich placement coordinator, Bala Subramaniam, who's a dear friend, wanted me to sit to get that 100% for the batch. I got an offer from the TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. I got the offer letter there and I gave it to Balu that day. Same evening, I said, thank you, Balu, for the kind words you had for me to force me to sit for a placement, but somehow I don't belong. So the next 1 year was very tough for me. 2007 to 8 was very tough. It for enforced toughness for me. I traveled so much during that time, met a lot of interesting people, spoke about life, spoke about society. And I got a small job with a company called Time in Coimbatore, where they gave me an opportunity to teach mathematics. And with the 8,000 rupee salary, my first salary, I remember 2007 to 8, I stayed outside where the rent was 4,000. And by about 20th, 21st of every month, when my money is about to get over, I used to skip a lunch. 22, 23, 24th of every month, my lunch gets skipped. So 27, 28, when the money is about to run out, I used to skip a dinner because my father didn't talk to me. He told me not to come home because I went against everything and I chose not to sit for a placement. But I believe 2007 to 8 is the best year of my life, the greatest year of my life. It showed me a lot of things about myself. What am I good at? What should I do? With that clarity, I wrote CAT. I felt I have to do a master's in higher education, an incomplete education. I felt with the technical education. I went to Lucknow with a very open mind. I remember the first day in UP, I took a flight, possibly the first flight of my life, landed there in the airport. When I came out, I saw a lot of bull waiting outside the terminal. With no Hindi, I negotiated a 200 rupee ride for an 800 rupee ride. I paid 800 bucks, went to the campus, not knowing any language. So 2008-10 in a foreign land was also a great experience for me. Again, a foreign land, the language is an issue, struggling. Everybody is a batch topper. People have come there, I've seen, are the top guys in the class, but I'm an average guy, 70%, 80% guy. So that grinding, it happened to me. The projects, it made me to travel around UP. I went all across UP doing projects for Melinda Gates Foundation, a lot of other places. That is the time I felt somehow my life is into social change. I should dedicate the rest of my life, all my energy into making an impact at the grassroots level. With this, I went and met Mr. Vijaykanth. Vijaykanth was an actor who started the DMDK party then. So I went and met him in Chennai in 2009 for my MBA internship. I told him, I'm an MBA guy at somehow I like you. I think you are a change for the state. And I would like to join you as an intern. An intern from IIM doing a political internship is unheard at that point of time. My dean straight away told me that I can't do it because IIM Act doesn't allow it, Societies Act. I went and met Mr. Arjun Singh, went all the way. Arjun Singh was the HRD minister then. So Vijaykanth kindly gave me a space to work with him for about 3.5 months in the South Tamil Nadu, the rural dusty part. I was grinding it out for the 2009 Lok Sabha election. Again, a great experience. So I think 2007 to 10, where I pushed myself into a different direction. Probably I didn't have clarity, but still I was willing to risk it out, take a new path and go around. So the previous speaker, Mr. Maafai Pandiyarajan, was a candidate in Virudhunagar. Then I worked for him. I was an intern for him. I was part of his political campaign. I still remember he was a MP candidate from DMDK, Vijaykanth's party, standing in Virudhunagar. He was doing a lot of innovative things. I was part of it a bit for some time. So from there, when I was about to complete my education, politics definitely I felt is not my cup of tea, but the experience I had then was fantastic. So social change, what better than civil service? Wrote civil service from the campus, got selected into the police service, though I wanted IAS as the first option. IPS was the second option. For my rank, I got IPS. With an unwillingness, I entered into the police service. I think the first 2 weeks when you start wearing that uniform, you go to that parade ground, when you stand in that crowd, when you get measured, people shout at you the utsas for the drill and running around. That gave me a fascination for the uniform, fascination for khaki. So then 10 years went like a zoom, 9.5 years went like a zoom. SP of 3 different districts. I've served 6.5 years, then DCP for 2 years. So a very fantastic experience. Every single day I liked what I was doing. I was able to do a lot of great things, but there was this nagging feeling always that somehow grassroots change I was not doing it. What I saw with 2009 elections in Tamil Nadu, what I saw in UP, I'm not able to get and change it. As a police guy, I was more changing the manifestation of a social problem. Any social problem gets manifested in a certain way, it becomes a police issue. And I was able to do that, but somehow the passion was always to go back deep down and do some change. So I didn't know, I know it was very risky one to quit police. Again, the same thing, whether I can go back to grassroots or maybe I can still stay with police for the next 25 years and start doing something which is very meaningful, but not according to the passion I had when I entered the service. So I undertook a pilgrimage to Kailash Mansarovar, 2018. I went for a 16-day pilgrimage, no cell phones, nothing. In the high altitude, 18,000 feet plus for about 40-50 days with an enforced silence. That gave me a lot of clarity. It gave me a lot of courage and a lot of vigor. Came back, told my wife, I'm doing this. Called up my dad. My dad by then has given up on me. He's like, every single time you keep doing this, it's like day in and day out, it's the same problem with you. But this time, luckily, I had his blessing. He said somehow he trusted that my heart is in the right place and probably I'm going in the same trajectory. So quit in September 2019, again took a break. I always take a break whenever I quit to see whether I'm doing it out of compulsion, out of passion, out of real direction, or maybe I'm just doing it for the heck of it. So 6-7 months, again, the same travel, Uttarakhand, other parts, high up in the Himalayas. So with a very clear direction and purpose, came back to Tamil Nadu, started a foundation called We the Leaders, based out of Karur, getting into Coimbatore, some operations in Kadalur as well. So we work predominantly in rural parts. We work with college students, we work with farmers. In Karur, we work with about 5,500 college students. We train them, thanks to one of our alumni, 247.ai, the founder, Mr. Shanmugam Nagarajan. So with the CSR project, he's with us. It's a massive project we have taken, 6 colleges, 5,500 students. We train them on communication, behavioral, and critical thinking. So they're part of the foundation now. And we also have organized a group of farmers, about 1,550 people now. So we have launched a farmers producing organization. So absolute grassroots, we help them to do their soil testing. We help them to find out their market for their produce. We help them to find out the weather patterns. And deep down, we are working now. We have about 6,000 volunteers in one district, Karur alone, with about 1,700 in Coimbatore and about 600 in Kadalur. So till now going is good, but again, the focus is always on bringing change at the grassroots level. Because one change we bring in one house, it sets a chain reaction, it sets a cascading effect. It goes all the way to Delhi, it goes all the way to the Rashtrapati Bhavan, it goes all the way to the Prime Minister's office. So that is the mission and the focus. Till now it is good. We keep doing it, and with a clear sense of purpose and direction for the next few years also. And why is it I've done what I'm doing now? Maybe police job itself is fantastic, no doubt about that. But the reinforcements I had, seeing what is happening, it will change everybody. Any cop who's more grounded, who's more empathetic, and who's always having his ears and eyes to the ground, will always be a different guy. Policing will change you for the better, because you see thousands of deaths. You see deaths and deaths and deaths. So death is always our constant companion. The day starts with somebody dying and some police guy reporting, and the day ends with somebody dying and somebody reporting. In the middle, many times where I had the unfortunate task of calling up a loved one and telling them their son is dead, their father is dead, wife is dead, kid is dead. So two things happen. Some people become very hardened. They don't get any kind of sense on them. And some people become more emotional. They become more, maybe more grounded. So I am the second sort of guy. So every death is a constant reminder to always live our life with a lot of purpose, to contribute something back, not to take more from the earth, to live a simple life, but a very meaningful life. So death is always a constant companion. That is always a privilege wearing khaki and serve to the best of my ability in Karnataka. So many people, for them, it's a shock because for a typical civil service guy, it is never to quit. No civil service guy quits. Any civil service guy who's quitting will always say, I hate the system. System is bad, or somebody is bad, so they fight and quit. So my thing always was that we should always know when to say no. There is always a time when we know that it is right, it is up. So go to the next one, start from the ground up and keep working. For me, it was that moment, maybe the Kailash Mansarovar moment. Without any regrets, I said, though I've disappointed a lot of my friends and batchmates and people who to this day still believe I made the wrong decision, probably I should have stayed back. And my resignation letter also mentioned, probably it's a great service. It was one of the greatest service in the world. Being a cop is closer to being a god. No two ways about it. If one is grounded and empathetic, the kind of things we do, the kind of things we get an opportunity to make an impact at the ground level is fantastic. But somehow, I think with enough experience, enough motivation, I think we should always get into the next one. To again start from the grassroots, use our wealth of experience, take it back, help those people, the youth, the farmers, whoever needs us, and change the society. A longer perspective I always have, without any doubt, is to take a plunge into politics. No doubt about that. It's the best instrument of social change. Like Plato, who says, the highest virtue of any human being should always be to get into politics. He said it many, many years back. It's a great virtue, but only thing is the political landscape in our country right now, it's rotten, it's so bad. It's not very conducive for, I don't know, I'm not saying good people. You are good, I am good, everybody is good here. But for a well-meaning guy, for a guy who wants to come in, or for a lady, the current landscape is not very conducive. It's very tough. Though I've conducted many, many elections, I've seen elections in and out, the politicians in and out. But it's always tough in a country like us because we are still an immature democracy. Still we are maturing. The caste is still a big problem. The economic disparity is still a big problem. People still don't vote for the right guy. People always vote for whom do they think is right, who takes care of them, who gives them money. Nothing wrong with the voter. Voter is always right. The Indian voter is always right. So that is the spirit I have. But we wanted to prove at the ground level before jumping into politics, before asking for anybody's vote, because asking anybody's vote is a privilege for a human being. So we thought we'll go to the grassroots level, create that moment, create that change, build enough leaders. Because if you look at the We the Leaders Foundation's motto, as Madam said, is Aram Seiya Virumba. That is a motto with which it was founded. And the other motto we have is Nammil Oru Thalaivan. So we always say a leader should always create more leaders. Insecure leaders keep creating followers. But here there is no post for anybody. So this organization is run very differently. We always go by the volunteers number. My number is 7. There are 6 people before me because they registered before me in the website. So my number is 007. So that's the way we run. And every single project is led by a team, led by a resource whom we think is best for that. A group of 10 to 15 guys, the initial beginners, we sit down, we decide the new path it has to go, then we de-link ourselves. Moment a new team takes over, it is purely their baby. So we have completely disrupted the foundation model in India. We don't have designation, we don't go by the founder's credo because there is no founder, there is only volunteer or a beginner. I call myself a chief servant, Mudanmai Tolilali, just to take the same spirit deep down. So since I got only 15 minutes to kind of rewind my whole life, it is not that I did some great things. Absolutely no. I'm sure all the alumni here are extremely distinguished, fantastic alumni, people who have really made impact in their industries. I had always the unique honor and privilege of meeting you across India, different circumstances. So for great people you are, but the only thing is we all travel in different paths. You travel in a different path. I travel in a different path. At the end of the day, we all converge. That's the reason I said it's a privilege to talk to you all. And probably my path is different. That is why the organizers felt it's fit to call me as a guest and talk to you. with all humility, I'm here talking about my life and the vision I have for our country. If we don't get into grassroots, don't create change, don't make impact, don't bring up our farmers, I don't see anything great happening in this country. An edifice cannot be built on loose foundation. An edifice cannot be created with insecure people. An edifice cannot be created with leaders who are not passionate. And a great cathedral cannot be built with leaders who keep looking over their backwards. We need leaders who are enlightened. We need leaders who are more forward-looking, more visionary, who has got something to give to the state, something to give to this country. So this state is such a great state, which started somewhere, gone in a different trajectory, different direction. Now, if you look at the current state of specifically Tamil Nadu, because most of us are Tamilians, we belong here, there's nothing great about where we are traveling now. So I'm not sure whether I'm jumping and talking. So the moment my time is up, Jayanti madam can tell me so that we can get into questions. So this is a state which has got about 4 lakh crore as debt now. Tamil Nadu has got about 4 lakh crore. The reason I'm telling you this is very intelligent people like you will quickly grasp what is happening. So it's very tough to have this conversation with the outside world. So 4 lakh crore is the debt. And every year, Tamil Nadu borrows about 70,000 crore. We keep borrowing, and then we keep giving subsidies. And this state is one of the states which makes a lot of revenue from TASMAC by selling liquor. 31,000 crore is the last year, which grows about 6% every year. Now, these are the basic statistics for you. Such a great state with a huge debt burden, with a great emphasis on TASMAC, with a great emphasis on the freebie culture, with a great emphasis on the 500 rupee note and the 1,000 rupee note and the 2,000 rupee note before every election. So how long can it sustain itself? Probably we inherited a great one. So are we leaving the same state back to our kids, to our grandkids? That's a question before all of us. So that is also one of the motivation for many of our volunteers. Maybe I come from a certain motivation because with God's grace, I had a bit more exposure. But the volunteers, the 6,000 people who are with us now in Karur and 1,700 in Coimbatore and 600 in Kadalur. So those guys, I really salute them because people come from different parts of the world. People come from different cities of Tamil Nadu. People come from very, very, very high pedigree backgrounds. When I keep talking to them, what is your motivation to join us? Every single person tells me it is to do something right with the state, to do something right with the society. And seeing their belief, it inspires us. Seeing their belief, it gives a lot of motivation to us that possibly we are on the right path. And there is a big stone in front of us. It's like the Atlas keeps pushing up the stone up and the stone keeps coming down. But somebody has to push that stone because the stone never goes up. It's an endless chain reaction or an endless motion. But we have to do that. So that is a motivation. So every single day when a new volunteer comes, I find their number, I call them up, I talk to them, I ask them, what is your motivation? How do you think we can make you to be a better person? How do you think we can help you to contribute back to the society? So I request the eminent alumni here to also look at our organization, wetheleader.org, wetheleader.org, to look at it and see whether you can contribute in any way you would like to take a project in your place so that we can facilitate, we can act as a catalyst, we can help you out. So that is a mission and progress we have. So there are n number of people who keep doing a lot of great work at the societal level. Again, I'm not using a word called great. There's nothing like great. Everybody is doing great work, including a guy who's working in a company because he pays his tax very honestly. So he's also doing a great work. There is somebody who's struggling in the hot sun, a farmer who gives us food. He's also doing a great work, but qualified great meaning somebody who's contributing back to the society. I'd only hope and pray that Tamil Nadu is able to pull in all of those people, unite them, make them part of its fabric, part of its culture, because it's a toxic environment. Any single thing you do, there is a big political interference. Though I've served in a different state, I've seen other states also, but it's very tough here. Very, very tough. It's a deep grassrooted system, and without struggle and without passion, it's very tough to create a change. Wherever you go, there is always a political interference. There is always a politician who thinks we are entering into his turf, and he comes with his people, and that's a big thing. So that is the reason I'm asking you to contribute back. So that way you can really make sure this state progresses to a different level. The reason you see a simple data, In the Corona time, the state itself has said that everybody who's working for the government of Tamil Nadu, they've extended their tenure by 1 year. If you ask me, why did they do it? Or why should government servants work for 1 more year extra? Because the state doesn't have money. The state simply doesn't have money to pay them. The state simply doesn't have money right now to pay to its staff. The state doesn't have money right now to pay a full salary to pay to its Corona warriors. Maybe the front-end nurses, the front-end, the policemen, the front-end, the other important people in our society. Because it is run with a very different notion. It is run extremely with a different notion. 3 lakh crore is our budget. 2019 and 2020, if you look at the budget of the state, it is 3 lakh crore. How much did the state mobilize by itself is only 1,69,000 crore. That's it. 1,69,000 crore we mobilized inside, but we spent 3 lakh. The central government gave about 70,000 crore because of the taxation devolution. We borrowed another 70,000 crore. And last year, out of the 3 lakh crore, we had spent only 30,000 crore to create schools, roads, hospitals. Would you believe? If we run a household, out of the total budget, if you are spending only 10% to create an asset, and remaining 90% we just spend like that for subsidy, for giving freebie, for giving scooty, for giving that. What kind of citizens are we creating in the state? A state that is famed for its hard work, a state that is famed for its integrity. Maybe if you go to a different part of Tamil world, India, maybe Karnataka, Tamilians are highly respected 10 to 20 years back. They say, very disciplined, very clean, very integrity. Or chinna vela kuduthina kuda pakava pannuvanga. But now more Tamilians are seen as drunkards. Some of the culture has forced them to drink more so that the state earns revenue. So all these things have to change. Somebody has to speak here. The problem is when we switch on the TV channels, it is more about people shouting at each other. What happened to Periyar? What happened to Anna? Which nobody is bothered about 40 years back, though they are very important personalities, no doubt about that. The whole argument goes around it. Dravidian politics or the aggressive Hindutva politics or the religious-based politics. So time is now when we have to speak on issues that matters to us, issues that is important to us. So that way, I'm sure that we all can bring back some glory to the state and to this country. So that is my introduction. That is my whatever speech Madam has forced me to give. So thank you so much, Madam. Any questions you have, I'll answer it. Or if you want me to talk, I can talk. Thank you so much, Madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Annamalai. You really kept us all enthralled with your inspiring, energetic, and a very insightful speech. In fact, on the life journey itself, very beautifully how each time, when you transition from one phase of your life to another, ரொம்ப beautifully அதை explain பண்ணீங்க with a lot of insights.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. All power is within you. You can do anything and everything. This is what comes to my mind because this was the quote by the youth icon Swami Vivekananda. But when I listen to our own PhD's youth icon, Mr. Annamalai, this is what comes to my mind. That was wonderful, Mr. Annamalai.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
So can we move on to the question and answer session?
Yes, madam.
So as Fibin ma'am said, we have collected the questions from all the participants and we have grouped them together. So since we are all connected today in a common platform, not Zoom, but PSG. So we will start with your PSG days. So நீங்க காலேஜ்ல கலாட்டெல்லாம் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? Any interesting incident you can share with us on your tech days?
Many interesting incidents, ma'am. But I am not a great guy in the classroom. Not a front bencher, neither a back bencher somewhere in the last but one row. So the first 3 years was more like a very simple year. Fourth year, I remember sometimes we all do stupid things. I had my share of one. We did a small strike for the mess. So doing strike in the mess is a DNA of a PhD techian. So all batches must have done. But for me, the lesson was very important. That day, we did a strike because a sambar powder packet was beyond the expiry date. Somebody did a strike and we all joined without even knowing what is the purpose. But finally, when the top guys were identified, luckily I found my name in there among the top 8. So summoned to the principal, and principal said, all of you have to take your luggage and get out. But the top 7 guys were Tirupur guys, all big mill guys and those guys. They're very happy to leave. I said, sir, if you don't mind, once this guys goes out, I'll close the door and fall at your feet, sir. So that was a big embarrassment also, because a lot of times we mindlessly do things. For me also, that was a mindless moment. So that was very, very interesting. That fear that they'll kick me out of the campus, I might not get my degree. So that still lingers on always. So before I jump, I always think whether it is right, should I really do it? But maybe God pushed me into a law enforcement job only later. I keep telling this to my police guys also. Whenever I see a college student going on a strike, and my guys have to get aggressive, many times I hold back all the sub-inspectors and inspectors. I said, don't do it. There will be guys like me inside. Find those guys. Talk to them. So that is one, ma'am. Second, the whole PFG experience itself is fantastic, ma'am. The whole camaraderie that we shared with different batches in the hostel, that itself is a lot of great instances. So no doubt about that. The clubs that we were part of, specifically the Dramatics Club and a different club, every single place, it gave me an option to grow. I still, one more incident I remember is the tsunami, ma'am. 2004, when the tsunami happened, I was not a part of the NSS team, but I was very, very interested to go to tsunami and contribute something.
So, as NSS?
NSS, ma'am. But my batchmate, Mr. Veeramani, who's in US now, he is the NSS secretary. He was the NSS secretary. I went and begged him. I said, somehow take me into NSS today and take me to Kanyakumari. I will contribute something to tsunami. So the management was very clear, because of the spread of disease, only about 10 people can go. So Veera told me that I'll be a photographer. I said, I don't even know what to photograph, because I don't even know how to handle a camera. He said, no problem. I'll give you a camera, learn for 2 days and come. Because maybe he was convinced of my passion to go and do something there. So I went there. The whole trip was a very, very horrific experience. Seeing the dead bodies floating around, and the dead bodies thrown about 1 kilometer into the coconut trees, people cleaning. We were carrying goods and other things on behalf of the PFG Tech. So after we came back, when the photographs were developed, when the coordinator was seeing the photo, many photos did not have the head of the participant. Some photo did not have the legs of the participant. Many photo, the subject matter was something else. The goods itself was not covered. So the principal was asking, what is the proof that we have given? Where is the photo? And they didn't know that. They always thought that I'm an eminent photographer. So that is again a funny feeling. Even now we share the photos in the group and keep laughing.
So then you joined photography club, I think.
Correct, ma'am. But still, even now I'm a bad photographer only with all. Okay.
That's nice. But there is one person during your college days, that too in your first year, who has identified you as a unique personality. He says, I was your first year roommate. I have observed you and I found there was something unique in you. Very happy for you. This is from Mr. Nambi of your batch, who was your roommate, Tripoli. So I think there's someone who has identified you as a unique personality even at that time when you were so young. Oh, that's nice. Then
maybe now, thanks to Nambi, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank
you, so now you have done your BE from Tech and then moved on to do your MBA from a prestigious institution again, IIM Lucknow. So the usual tendency is to go for an MNC job or go abroad. And you said you didn't like it, but what inspired you at that moment to go for civil services?
Ma'am, I think specifically UP, specifically Lucknow, very specifically the hinterlands of UP. The travel that I was forced to take in my second trimester. We were working on some projects for a foundation. So when I was on the Purvanchal side, Purvanchal is that UP Bihar border. And the assignment that was given to us on behalf of the Melinda Gates Foundation is more about children dying within 10 days, 20 days after their birth. And they wanted some creative jingles and creative advertisements for that. So when we were trying to find the reason when I found shocked me, it said, people don't breastfeed their child. Many women don't breastfeed their child. When I asked a woman, why don't you breastfeed? She told me, sir, the breast milk is devil. In our culture, we are not supposed to give devil to our child. It truly shocked me. the level of ignorance that people had in that part of India and the level of belief system that kept going from generation to generation. So nowadays, when we talk about infant mortality and all those things, people like this still exist. Now, though we designed some creative jingles to counter that, all those stuff, that left a small imprint. Likewise, each instance, when I kept moving around, it kept showing me that the society is absolutely in a flux. It requires a different kind of approach to solve it. So that is why the third, when the internship came, I said I want to do a social internship. When I was trying to do a social internship, I felt going to the grassroots should be the best option. So luckily I found a political party, went and worked for them as an independent consultant for 3.5 months, ma'am. So for me, UP was very specific, ma'am. Maybe if I've gone to any other campus to study, I'm not sure whether I would have got the same level of impact I had in UP. So you some days you feel like crying. Some days you feel like cursing yourself. Some days you feel like, kicking yourself. I still remember some of our batchmates, because the campus is about 30 kilometers away from Lucknow. The campus is in a place called Prabant Nagar, Sitapur Road. So many people, when they come, their laptops get robbed in the same road. Their purses people show a knife and take all the money. And some of my batchmates got stabbed also. When you go out, it's not a crime that is happening. It is not a crime that is happening. It is more out of desperation, more out of economic things they do. So that was a deep imprint for me, ma'am.
That's nice, sir. So you cracked your IPS in first attempt, I think.
Maybe I was lucky, ma'am. Maybe I was lucky. So it is not that I was able to crack in the first attempt, ma'am. I still remember my scores were pretty poor. My written scores were very poor because I was doing my MBA also, writing my mains also. So I used to come from classroom at about 8:39. Then 3 hours I open and whatever I could read, I read. Next day sleep in the class. That was a routine in the second year. So for me, what happened, ma'am? Somehow I was clear that I might not crack it in the first attempt, but I took more out of experience. But I was able to crack the mains when I was called for the interview. Then a little bit of confidence came in that I should crack it. So interview, I was the All India topper of that batch. I was able to score 240. That is a score that is yet to be beaten even after 10 years, with all humility, ma'am. So that interview pushed me inside. Interviews pushed me inside. So that is why, ma'am. So with all humility, it is not that I was able to crack it in the first attempt. I just got lucky with the board also.
That's nice, and hearty congratulations for breaking the records and holding it high.
You have come out now, ma'am. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Still, record is a record.
Thank you.
No, I still keep saying I got sent in 12th. So, அந்த மாதிரி தான். So, like next to உங்களோட கர்நாடகா, உங்களோட IPS career, now we will move on to your life journey, to your IPS career. So, கர்நாடகால நீங்க பண்ணின சாதனைகள் எல்லாம் எப்படி வந்து ஒரு என்ன சொல்றது, ஒரு நோட்டோரியஸ் நக்சலைட்ஸ் சரண்டர் பண்ண வச்ச தைரியமாகட்டும், 7 minutesல FIR, ஒரு சாமானிய மக்கள் கொடுக்குற ஒரு மனுவுக்கு 7 minutesக்குள்ள FIR போடுறது, அண்ட் 7 daysக்குள்ள ப்ராப்ளம் சால்வ் பண்ண முடியுங்கிற ஒரு அஷூரன்ஸ் கொடுக்கறது, இந்த மாதிரி எத்தனையோ ஒரு விஷயங்கள் நிறைய பண்ணிருக்கீங்க நீங்க கர்நாடகால. There is one question. In your police career, which spans close to a decade, any challenges and difficulties you have faced and how to become independent in government career?
Every day is a challenge, ma'am. In a police career, every day is a challenge. I remember 2-3 times the bullets also missed me. So you get lucky also. The rub of the green is with you. But what happens is, ma'am, a policeman becomes very spiritual. I don't know why. You become very spiritual the first 2-3 years into your career, because the death affects you more, as I said in the beginning of my speech also. I remember the first death I saw. I was a trainee in Shimoga, just out of academy and into the field. So when the sub-inspector told me a whole family has died, come, we'll go to the spot. When I went to the spot, I saw a husband, wife and a small kid. They went to that shanty. The Sandek Poit, ma'am, they were coming in that Hero Honda vehicle, the correct side of the road at a correct speed. Opposite la pathina, one Scorpio guy comes at full speed. Probably he loses control. Maybe a tire burst, I think, ma'am. They lose control. He runs over the divider, comes to the opposite direction, runs over this two-wheeler. So all 3 people die in the spot. When I went there, the small kid, maybe less than 6 months, was having a bit of life. We were trying to struggle, and the ambulances were also not so great. I'm talking 10 years before 2011. So ella pannittu irukumbodhu ma'am, she died. That was a big impact. Big impact. I remember telling my officers there, life la karma enanga, you do good things and God will give you good things. That's the karma. So what did they do? If they had made a mistake, it's fine. They never made a mistake. In the mari ethaniyo instances, ma'am, in the first 6 months only, you get so many instances. Life just throws instances at you every single day. So every time it's a challenge, every time. For me, I would not say that I did this, I did that. For me, every time when somebody dies, I always tell my officer, I should break the news. I didn't tell him, madam. Maybe second year, when I was SP Udupi, யாரோ இறந்து போய் என்னோட சப் இன்ஸ்பெக்டர் வந்து என்னோட ஆஃபீஸ்ல இருக்காரு. He just picks up the phone. He tells the father when the son died, உங்க பையன் இறந்துட்டான், ஸ்டேஷனுக்கு வாங்க, நீங்க கையெழுத்து போடணும். It was like a matter of fact. It was like a speak. I was like, what is happening, bloody fellows? எதுக்கு இப்படி பண்றீங்க? Why are you speaking like some event has happened? It is like somebody's loved one has died. Probably their whole life is revolving around their child. How can you say like that? Lot of training also, ma'am. I'll come to the police station. The whole idea of making the police station ISO 9000, we made a lot of police station ISO 9000 is to build empathy, ma'am. Not about efficiency. Efficiency can always come back, but empathy was important for me, ma'am, as a police leader there.
Very true. It is not just a news what you pass it on. You know, you
Correct.
have to feel for their loss.
So I took it on always as SP also. Any child or any person who's below 35 who's dying, you'll tell me, I'll tell their parents. So I must have spoken to about 500 parents, 500 people like that. So every time you tell it, there is that moment of silence the other side. For about 6-7 seconds, they just process that. Then they just pour everything on you. So that is the greatest, I won't say experience, ma'am. It humbles you. It shakes you to the core. It helps you to redefine our life. So that is something from the police, ma'am. So remaining everything is fine, ma'am. With your power and everything, you make the Naxalite surrender. You encounter criminals. That everybody
power comes with your post, but this empathy doesn't come. You know, Correct. It has to come from within. So அந்த ஒரு இதை நீங்க காமிச்சிருக்கீங்க, அதுவும் ஒரு போலீஸ் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்லனா கேட்கறதுக்கே ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு. ஏன்னா உங்களுக்கு நிறைய பேர் என்ன கேட்டிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா, in fact many questions are similar to this. Why usually police officers are rude and not friendly with public? இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய கேள்வி கேட்டிருக்காங்க. How can we foster collaborations between citizens and the state and rebuild trust? எல்லாருக்குமே என்ன ஒரு ஃபீலிங்னா, போலீஸ்னாலே வந்து இந்த நீங்க சொல்ற மாதிரி there's no empathy, so just ரூடா இருக்காங்க அப்படிங்கிறது. அத பத்தி உங்களோட வியூ என்ன?
Ma'am, again, ma'am, just to give more depth to my answer, I remember the government of India sent me to Germany in 2018 to understand the German efficiency and German way of policing and bring it back to Karnataka and to train our guys. So you'll be very surprised, ma'am. The first thing when I went to Germany and visiting all their academies from the Munich to all different parts of the country, one thing I saw, everything revolves around empathy. The training space, everything revolves around empathy. They respect the citizen. They feel the citizen is the most important part of the country. They believe he is the VVIP one. So training பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த மாதிரி கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க, ma'am. So அதுல நம்ம வெளியே வரும்போதே not only it is drilled down, every single fiber, every single cell of his body believes a citizen is an important component of their country. So இந்தியாவில் நீங்க பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா the training is just about 7 months. அதில் போய் drill பண்ண, லாட்டி எடுத்து தூக்கு, left right center பண்ண, இந்த மாதிரி நம்ம ட்ரைனிங்லேயே வந்து we make a lot of mistakes, ma'am. Training is not very depth. Though we tried doing this in Karnataka in the Mysore Police Academy for a couple of batches, even now it is being followed. We're training based on empathy and soft skills, speaking and other things, ma'am. So first I would fault the training issue because the government doesn't pay, give money, spend time in training. The second, ma'am, what happens, நான் முதல்ல சொன்ன மாதிரி, ma'am, policeman நிறைய experience பார்க்க he becomes very hardened. So that's a very unfortunate part. Each experience is supposed to make you a better person. So policemen பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நிறைய பார்த்து சகஜம் எடுத்துக்க ஆரம்பிச்சுக்குவாங்க. பரவாயில்ல சார், இதான் சார் நடக்கும், இறந்து போயிட்டா சார், நாம என்ன பண்ண முடியும் சார், what can we do? இதை பிரேக் பண்றதுக்கு ஜெர்மனியில் என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா, every 4 years again they retrain. So நீங்க retrain பண்ணி பாஸ் ஆகலைன்னா they will not send you to the field. So the empathy is re-emphasized. India, the average training a constable goes after his first training is only one. Next 30 வருஷத்துல ஒரே ஒரு training தான் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. So which is very sad. இது the police reforms full பண்ணணும் ma'am. We have to completely redo the whole structure, completely change it. And for this we need good politicians and good government who thinks policeman reform ஆகலினா society reform ஆகாதுன்னு உங்களுக்கு ஒரு feeling கொண்டு வரணும் ma'am. Unfortunately that is not the case now. நான் ஒரு பழைய ஹோம் மினிஸ்டர் கர்நாடகா ஒருத்தட்ட கேட்டேன், ஏன் சார் நீங்க ட்ரைனிங் கொடுக்க மாட்டீங்க, ஏன் நீங்க ரிசோர்சஸ் கொடுக்க மாட்டீங்க? Because we are getting the bad name. The bad name is not because of a cop. The bad name is because of the system into which a cop is born. So unless you change the system, there is no way a cop will act better. அவர் என்ன சொன்னார்னா, it's very interesting ma'am. He told me, அண்ணாமலை உங்ககிட்ட நாய் இருக்கான்னு கேட்டார். You have a dog. I said ஊர்ல டாக் இருக்கு சார். He said யார் சாப்பாடு போடுவா? I said my mother feeds. எவ்வளவு சாப்பாடு போடுவீங்க? I said my mother pampers, நிறைய சாப்பாடு போடுவாங்க. இல்ல 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 அப்படி இல்ல, நீங்க கிராமத்துல போய் பாருங்க, ஒரு நாய்க்கு எப்பவுமே பாதி சாப்பாடு தான் போடுவாங்க. A dog is not never fed full. A dog is always fed half stomach because a dog has to bark. That is his essential quality. ஒரு policeman பாத்தீங்கன்னா டாக் மாதிரி. So full வயிறுக்கு நீங்க ரிசோர்சஸ் கொடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா it doesn't bark, it sleeps. I don't know, this is the kind of leaders we have. And this is the kind of people who decide how much money should go into policing and all those stuff. That's a problem, ma'am. A state like Karnataka, 660 crore is the total police budget. Adala 600 crore ruwa vandu ungalde salary ke poirum. 60 crore vechikittu neenga enna பண்ணுவீங்க? You can't even build 2 police stations. You can't even create anything. So in the environment la வேலை செய்யற பிறந்த ஒரு மனிதன் வந்து வெளியே வந்து police stationல ஒரு policeman வேலை செய்யும்போது you see the worst of him. You don't see the best of him. The society wants to see the best of everybody. Sorry for the long answer, ma'am, but it's a systemic problem.
Okay. So you said you have created many police stations with ISO certifications. We have heard of ISO certifications only in corporates wherever we have worked, but you have taken efforts to get that certification, ISO certification for your police stations where you have worked. That's an excellent initiative. But still we have questions on, again, the police station related questions. Your views on recent Sathankulam police custody death of a son and father.
It's a shameful act. It's a black day for Tamil Nadu police, because Tamil Nadu police, ma'am, it is generally known for its fabulous policing. Without any shame, policemen across India, they believe Tamil Nadu followed by Andhra are the best police forces in India. Karnataka comes third or fourth. That's the general order. Tamil Nadu police is known for its efficiency, rigor, and its law and order maintenance. This police force has produced legends, ma'am. Walter Devaram, Vijay Kumar Ellame. Sathankulam abdingiradha, I'm going to take it as a one-off incident. It is like some rebel who by hook or crook is able to get into the system, and he was able to consistently exhibit that pattern. So moment Sathankulam nadanda odane, ma'am, I was more interested to see who are those guys, that sub-inspector and the inspector. When I digged into their record, whatever the available online media is there, I found this guys had a consistent pattern. 3-4 police stations, beating people, getting suspended, getting transferred, and getting pushed to a insignificant station. So another Sathankulam வந்து இது கருப்பான ஒரு விஷயம், பேடான விஷயம் சொன்னா கூட, ma'am, unfortunately we are not able to weed out those guys. இப்ப ஒரு சிஸ்டம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா, இப்ப உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் கார்ப்பரேட்ல வந்து பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் மேட்ரிக்ல the bad guys gets weeded out. So governmentல பாத்தீங்கன்னா the bad guys never gets weeded out because it's a time bound promotion. 7 வருஷம் இன்ஸ்பெக்டர், 13 வருஷம் DYSP, 20 வருஷம் additional SP, 25 வருஷம் SP. That's a set career path. எவ்வளவு பேர் வந்து ரிஜெக்ட் ஆகுறாங்க ஒரு பேட்ச்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா less than 0.4%. So this is the bad thing, ma'am. So ஒரு corporate culture கொண்டு வரணும், rigorousness in implementation, evaluation கொண்டு வரணும், because there's no point getting emotional and next 2 years nothing will happen, we'll forget Sathankulam, again a new Sathankulam happens, again we become emotional. So to make sure it doesn't repeat again, நான் ஃபர்ஸ்டே சொன்ன மாதிரி ரிஃபார்ம்ஸ் இதெல்லாம் கொண்டு வரணும், மேம். வெரி வெரி ரிகரஸ் செலெக்ஷன் ப்ராசஸ் அண்ட் வெரி ரிகரஸ் ப்ரொமோஷன் ப்ராசஸ். இது ரெண்டும் பண்ணினீங்கன்னா நிறைய பிளாக் ஷிப்பை வெளியே அனுப்பிடலாம், மேம். That is the only option. There's no other.
So, and the change again, we are coming back to change.
Pinky, sorry to interrupt both of you. Just to all the participants, we are nearing 7:30, but we are, we are witnessing a very interesting session. So we'll be slightly extending the session. Just wanted to say that. Go ahead, Chintan. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Is that okay, Mr. Annamalai? Can we extend it for some more time?
Time is all yours, ma'am. It's a privilege, ma'am. It's a privilege. Humbled.
இப்ப உங்களை மாதிரி நிறைய பேர் வந்து பப்ளிக் சர்வீஸ்க்கு போகணுங்கிற இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் நிறைய பேருக்கு இருக்கும். ஆனா ஒரு ரிஸ்க் எடுக்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு பயம் இருக்கும் கண்டிப்பா. So pursuing one's passion needs true guts to get out of your comfort zone. But you have done that. But not all can have the space and mental strength with commitments, limiting our decision in terms of family, finance, social. It could be anything. There is a limitation. நமக்கு மனசுல ஆசை இருந்தாலும் வர முடியாத மற்ற சூழ்நிலைகள்லாம் இருக்கும். அப்ப எந்த சமயத்துல அவங்களால டிசைட் பண்றதுக்கான நீங்க ஒரு டிப்ஸ் கொடுக்க முடியும்? ஏன்னா நீங்க பண்ணிருக்கீங்க அது. சோ ஒரு பிரேக் ஈவன் பாயிண்ட் அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு டிப்ஸ் இந்த மாதிரி ஆஸ்பைரிங் டு கெட் இன்டு சோஷியல் சர்வீஸ்.
Right, ma'am. So definitely we can do, ma'am. So maybe I'm not sure I'm the right guy to talk about it, but whatever little change I've taken in my life, with that I'll tell you the background, ma'am. So I always believe the more alignment we have towards the passion we have and the commitment we have from the deep, closer to the heart, we find more happiness, ma'am. That is something which I've always found. The alignment. So many of us, the alignment doesn't happen. It just is 90 degree or 180 degree, or some people it is almost 360 degree. To do that, I think it's important that we sit down and plan it, ma'am. Plan it. Maybe some of the alumni who's here, the younger alumni wants to jump out and start a company, become an entrepreneur, startup, and do something totally out of the blue. And for them, the only thing I would request or say is, please plan that thing. Plan that thing. The first comes the financial, definitely no doubt about that. But I always believe finance is all about your comfort zone. Your comfort zone. If your needs you can control for the next 3-4 years after you take that risk. We cannot afford the same standard of living that we were previously having. That is something which we always have to have in mind. For me, I still remember the 8,000 salary I took at 2007 to 8. I still remember the initial part of my policing career. I still even now remember the past 1 year. Bring down the needs a little bit closer for the next 3-4 years, because without doing this, jumping will create a lot of disappointments. The EMIs to be paid, bills to be paid, so it will create a lot of disappointment. So take care of finance first, everything else can follow. The second is, please have a very core team to support and mentor you. So for me, I have a lot of core team, people who kind of really feel for me, mean for me. So those core team, I trust them, I take their advice. So for the core team is about 7 to 8 in number, people from Karnataka, people from Tamil Nadu, because many a times we make that emotional decision. So we just jump in because we are blindsided. And I always run it through them. I ask them, should I do it? Should I not do it? And for me, I still remember before quitting, a lot of hard conversations over dinner and lunch, people grilling me, people asking me, is it really I want to do? Is it really I have to do? Is it really closer to my heart? Then they took me through all the failures and what if I fail? What if this doesn't happen? What will happen to my so-called ego and all those stuff? So that hard conversation happened for about 6 months before I quit. So that is the second thing I would say. The third is just jump, because risk is something I would like to say a new perception for risk. So many of you might agree, some might not agree. I remember when I went to Siachen in 2016, the upper Siachen, I saw soldiers at minus 30 degree. A lot of people are there. I found a couple of Kannadiga soldiers because they keep rotating. Siachen is the top area, and the helicopter goes one level down below, and people rotate again to keep going up. The chopper takes them. So when I asked them, because I was part of the All India Police expedition in that area for some project, I asked a Kannadiga guy, "Anna risk na eno? Risk na hel kodtira?" In Tamil it is, "Anna risk na define. Please define risk for me." He said, "Sir, yen risk? Do you know what risk is? My family is in deep South Mandia, Karnataka. I am like completely up. I haven't seen my wife for about 6 months now. I have a 3-year-old child. And I and Pakistani see eye to eye, because that demilitarized zone, in the upper Siachen, it's just about 350 meters is the gap. You could see a Pakistani guy there, eye to eye. So he might fire a shot up in the air when in a cricket match, when Pakistani guys hit a 4, he will just fire a shot, just to tell the Indians that a Pakistani is hitting a 4. When our Indians take a wicket, our guys will fire one shot. And you never know what will happen the next moment, because it's just a geopolitical shift happening anywhere in the world. The whole edifice will crumble. He said, "Other risk na. That is risk for me because I'm not in control of the next moment. But for many of you, when you are planning to kind of switch or look at an alternate career, I don't think you are going to have any of those factors in front of you. Family away from you, you are seeing an enemy eye to eye, and bullet just passing by you, and any geopolitical significance for which you don't have a control will have a control on you. So then my perception about risk changed. As long as we get food, as long as we are happy and comfortable in our means, then what is risk? So my request to all my friends is please redefine risk for you, because each person risk is different. A risk is not same for everybody. You might lose a bit of social prestige, doesn't matter. When I was at DCP Bangalore, I remember not big guys, small guys. It is not when I'm busy with my office meeting, people used to wait for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Big guys, people who own companies of 3,000 crore, 5,000 crore. So now I take my car and I go village to village. I meet farmer. I sit in their hut, have their tea, and I convince them, Anna, nam organization ku vaanga, ida pannalam, ada pannalam. Though they don't understand anything of what I say, but maybe my passion and my trying, because of that, he joins whatever we are trying to do. So I was willing to forsake that. I said, okay, day one, it's a new degree, new role. I can't bring the old baggage there. So much power, and I had about 2 personal assistant, 2 gunmen, 2 driver, a spare car. In Bangalore, always a follow-up party because of a certain threat. Follow-up party about 4 people. So always some 10-20 guys surrounding me. Now new life, I am alone. So this is the computer, I've set it up, I'm here.
So இப்போ நீங்க கரூர் கழனிக்கு வந்த கர்நாடக சிங்கம்.
Ma'am, adha periya varthing, ma'am. So very happy in my space, in my village, doing something. So maybe I don't know.
Definitely it calls for guts, because நீங்க வந்து you are really flying high. இவ்ளோ கர்நாடகால வந்து உங்களுக்கு நாங்க ரியல் ஹீரோஸ்க்கு தான் ஃபேன் கிளப்ஸ் பார்த்திருக்கோம், பட் ரியல் ஹீரோக்கு ஃபேன் கிளப்ஸ் இப்பதான் நாங்க பாக்குறோம். So அந்த சமயத்துல when you are flying high, you quit and you have come, that's excellent. And now இப்போ உங்களோட current lifeல அந்த perspectiveல இருந்து see, as patriotism can reduce corruption, tell us how we can encourage strong sense of purpose, integrity and a thirst for nation building in young minds. In other words, I will say, how can we create more anomalies?
Oh, I'm not sure, ma'am, but we can create more unique human beings. We can create more Jayantis and more Febins and more Ratnakumars and more all the 321 alumni here. You own unique human beings, ma'am. So I would say, ma'am, people have to travel more, ma'am. People have to really go deep down and see what is happening in a rural India, in a grassroots India, or if you're in a city, in a slum, in another ashramam, angalam poi paakana, ma'am. So I always believe people don't have patriotism because they are not exposed. It is not watching a movie once in a while, a Maniratnam Roja or something. When people go around and see, their perspective will change, ma'am. For example, many times when you go to a government hospital, when you see a government nurse in operation, whatever they're doing, your whole perspective about government servant will change, ma'am. Adu policemen night shift பண்ணும்போது when we see them, very tough, ma'am. Very tough to be a constable. Very, very tough to be a constable. And எங்க பசங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா வாரத்துக்கு 2 நாள் our boys will do night rounds. And not only does he do night rounds, next day morning 10 o'clock sharp is back to the station for the day duty. நிறைய இடத்துல பாத்தீங்கன்னா நிறைய வீட்ல, for me in Bangalore, the rule is I have to do 1 night round. So every Thursday I am on full city routes. Or maybe people in Bangalore could have seen me if you're awake at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So பார்க்கும்போது நிறைய வீட்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு ஃபிளாஸ்க் வெளியே வச்சிருப்பாங்க. ஒரு ஃபிளாஸ்க்ல வந்து காஃபியோ டீயோ உங்க கேட்ல வச்சிருப்பாங்க. Many places I've seen in Bangalore. I said, why? It is always kept for that night rounds policeman. Night rounds policeman. Always kept. Or a hot water. வயசானவங்க 57 வயசு ஆளுகள்லாம் night rounds போயிட்டு இருப்பாங்க. So இதெல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா somebody has deep down seen what is happening to a police department, is contributing in their own way by giving a cup of tea. இந்த மாதிரி நீங்க patriotism inculcate பண்ணா அந்த young boys, young girls, சின்ன நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ், நம்ம குழந்தைங்க எல்லாம் வெளியே போய் நிறைய விஷயங்களை பார்க்க வைக்கணும். நம்ம போலீஸ் ஸ்டேஷன் விசிட், கவர்மெண்ட் ஸ்கூல் விசிட், கவர்மெண்ட் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் விசிட் டு அ ஃபார்மர். Their whole thinking will change. Nama right now
Netflix get inspiration from even common people.
Correct.
As you said.
Correct.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very so nice Netflix and Amazon and playing all the video games in the cell phone. I really don't know what are they going to see. Adha pannita poduma patriotism vandrichna neenga sonnadhu ellame solve aayrum. Corruption will go down, You will not get identified by religion, caste. So that is the only solution, ma'am.
So நீங்க இப்போ grassroots level பத்தி பேசிட்டு இருந்தீங்க. So what is the need of leaders at grassroots level and what is the future of leadership in India?
I'm not sure maybe whether it is the same forum to talk what I'm talking now. நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா ma'am, India for a long time spirituality was always a base for our country. So we used to call as enlightened leadership. Spirituality is not connected to religion, not Hinduism, not Muslim, not Christianity for a long time. So எதுக்கு நான் spirituality அப்படின்னு சொல்றேன்னா ma'am, அந்த உள் உணர்தல் அப்படிங்கிறது, spirituality is all about understanding who you are from the inside out, because you have a lot of energy system that is operating in your body. You have your Ida and you have your Pingala, and there is that 72,000 energy channel inside. So in the present generation பாத்தீங்கன்னா இது எதுவுமே புரிஞ்சுக்காம நம்ம outward driven ஆயிட்டு இருக்கோம். So all the leadership right now is outward driven. It's title driven, it's prestige driven, it's designation driven. அதனால தான் we are seeing CEOs committing blunders. A big bank CEO studied in Harvard committing a financial misappropriation for 2,000 crore, going to jail, and with them 6,000 people going. Jet Airways collapsing, Kingfisher collapsing. நீங்க பாருங்க மேம். So Tamil Nadu always had that spiritual base. எப்பவுமே அந்த ஆன்மீகம் அப்படின்னு நமக்குள்ள ஒரு உள் புரிதல் இருந்துச்சு. Because நம்மளுடைய யோக சூத்ரா, பதஞ்சலி அவர்கள் எழுதின யோக சூத்ரா 2500 years back was written in Tillai Chidambaram temple by a saint, maybe a Jiva Samadhi saint, which talks about the steps you do to achieve it. It talks about 8 steps. 8 step நீங்க பண்ணீங்கன்னா எப்படி அந்த உள் புரிதல் வரணும். So anybody who gets that உள் புரிதல் becomes an enlightened leader. I think that is the only way available to our state, ma'am. We have to go deep down inside, control our emotions, control our energy flow, become an absolutely better person, more centered and more oriented and more empathetic. So the pannita podum ma'am, we get rounded leaders.
Self realization
ma'am, self realization deep down ulla poganum ma'am. Adu pogama irukradala dhaan prachana ma'am. That is a big problem. The leadership has to go that way.
Yeah. So சில பேர் வந்து கொஞ்சம் உங்களோட rapport with ரஜினிகாந்த் சார் பத்தி தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும் நிறைய பேர் ஆசைப்படுறாங்க. ஒரு few sentences about your rapport with him. And
my rapport with Rajini sir, ma'am, maybe since I'm in a public forum, my rapport with him is limited to a couple of phone calls, and he has got a new vision, and he wants to do a certain way of politics in our Tamil Nadu. He wants to bring the concept that I'm talking, but I'm not sure what does he mean by Anmiga Arasiyal. So I think he's meaning the same thing. So idathaan அவர் பண்ண நினைக்கிறாரு ma'am. So he keeps talking a couple of inputs. I'm not sure ma'am. So I am also waiting eagerly like you to see what is he going to bring different to our state.
So we will also wait.
Yes ma'am. How is he going to take on the mighty Dravidian parties? So I'm waiting ma'am.
இப்போ ஒரு different question. See, you have been always bold to embrace change all through your life. If there is one decision you would rethink and would do it differently, what would it be? The cinema chance kudukranga, you can go back.
Rewind my life, ma'am. I think I was very impulsive nu solunga ma'am. Adavadhu in initial years of my policing, vegama pannonu nenipen ma'am. The first 2 years, despite the empathy, despite what I spoke, I always felt I can control things. Things control பண்ண முடியும்னு சொல்லிட்டு all my decisions used to be. I've put some of my men in the harm's way also, especially this Naxal operation and a lot of things. Maybe நீங்க Naxal surrender ன்னு சொன்னது கூட பாத்தீங்கன்னா, that is something which I rethink. Though I haven't lost any of my boys in Chikmagalur or Udupi when I was part of there, but some of the actions were rash. Some of the actions were very driven to bring a change much faster. And the puridal slow vara, I found each problem has got its own solution at its own time. So on the rethink, maybe that the couple of decisions I took with respect to that, I would really go back and do it in a different way. And second, I used to always fight with politicians in the beginning years of my career. Then deep down, when I started seeing them with a different light for all the ills they have, system is imperfect, society is not very mature. Adukapram pathina nariya politician, I started becoming friends to them. So and the part of immaturity, I would like to go back, ma'am. Otherwise, I'm happy with whatever decisions I've taken, ma'am.
Okay, that's nice. So there's one question. What are the opportunities for women in government administration jobs once she has crossed the age for writing the exams, but with good skill sets and strong inspiration with age above 40? Ungaloda seniors stend vara questions idu.
You should straight away aim to be an advisor to the ministers and the prime ministers and the chief minister, because India is becoming very technocratic now, ma'am, whether you like it or not. நீங்க கரெக்டா உள்ள இருந்து பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, for the specific question the answer is the government is doing lot of lateral recruitment. Last 2 years பாத்தீங்கன்னா the Modi government வந்து lateral recruitment பண்றாங்க. You get to join IAS but in a different way. This is important for many of our alumni who have crossed 40 now. In 2019, the first time when it opened, they recruited 10 people. நீங்க notification பார்த்திருப்பீங்க, DOPT Government of India. It said you should cross 40 years of age. You should have achieved some sort of distinction in your professional life. Please apply. So உங்களுக்கு 5 years Government of India வேலை செய்யறதுக்கு அவகாசம் கொடுப்பாங்க. You can be a joint secretary and above. Government of India. இப்ப இருக்கிற joint secretary aviation, financial services எல்லாருமே பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த lateral இதுல வந்தவங்க. So I think 2 women have come and 8 male have gone there. So this is one thing people should consider. It is still available, still open for 2020-2021. Now this batch, they're doing it differently. Not only have they opened at 40, they're opening at the director level also. Or IAS உள்ள போன உடனே நீங்க 5 வருஷத்துல டைரக்டர் ஆயிருவீங்க. அதுலயும் ஓபன் பண்ணி இந்த வருஷம் 30 சீட் ஓபன் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. So people should use this lateral entry option to get into Government of India for a 5-year break. நீங்க 5-year private sectorல break எடுத்துட்டு come to government, work for 5 years and go back. And many a times I see in meetings, even now when I have the privilege of advising some political guys, some administrators, அவங்க ரூம் எல்லாம் போகும்போது நான் பார்ப்பேன், மேம், very young girls they sit there, very young boys they sit there. நான் கேட்பேன், நீங்களா யாருன்னு. நான் அட்வைஸ் பண்றேன், அவங்களுக்கு பாலிசி அட்வைசர், சோஷியல் மீடியா அட்வைசர், இந்த மாதிரி. The politicians are the chief ministers and the prime ministers. They are very happy to listen to people who have a certain expertise. The expertise can be in governance, it can be in social media management, it can be in personality management. So that is one space that is open, man. You can really influence government's thinking. So adu rendu neenga correct ah plan panni correctly, if you can do a public policy course, maybe after 40 you go to John F. Kennedy School of Governance or Fletcher School of Diplomacy. India la vandu Delhi la Ashoka University. If you do a public policy course, you come back, there are a lot of opportunities open for you in government. Lot of opportunities. You do not be a civil servant. You can do 10 times more than a civil servant by being at the background. So you explore pannalam. This India is very different. 10 years back it was not there. My only request is, I think many women specifically, because the country needs more empathetic leaders. The country needs more women who can really understand, because women really understand different perceptions very fast than male. This is my personal experience also. So nariya varanum, ma'am. So it's a great question, ma'am. So there are a lot of opportunities for them.
Okay. So this is again from mainly our seniors. Please share your views and suggestions on how technology can be leveraged to detect and prevent crimes more effectively and efficiently.
Sir, நீங்க ஒரு பெங்களூர் சிட்டி போலீஸ் மாதிரி பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, now we are very very advanced. Tech advanced is like fabulous. We are deep learning, machine learning, artificial intelligence, mood analysis, எல்லாமே பண்றோம் சார். Every single thing we do, big data, everything we do. And now all those gives us a lot of insightful information, like we are in a position to predict where the next crime will happen. So Bangalore city எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா chain snatching is very common. இங்க யாராச்சும் இருக்கீங்களான்னு தெரியல, சென்னையில கூட big city, the big menace is chain snatching. பெண்கள் நடந்து வாக்கிங் போவாங்க, செயினை படக்குன்னு எடுத்துட்டு போயிடுவாங்க. So now Bangalore, I think we are able to predict with close to 50% accuracy where are the next possible chain snatching spots. So அவங்க petrol vehicles move பண்றீங்க. Now we are also able to predict the house burglary எங்க நடக்கும் based on the pattern of movement. IT ஆளுங்க எங்க வசிக்கிறாங்க, எப்ப வீட்டுக்கு போவாங்க, லாங் ஹாலிடேஸ் எப்ப இருக்கு. So technology வந்து is playing a major role. Again நீங்க கேட்டீங்கன்னா, people like you are the people who do it. None of the police guys do it. It's all outsourced. And again 81 batch PFG alumni is the guy who runs our Bangalore data operations center. So he works for a company in Bangalore. So he's our alumni who runs our control center, who runs all our Hoysalas. Bangalore has got about 2,500 pink vehicles, which goes anywhere to when people give a call. So nariya pannalanga. Technology is a great level up. I'm happy that Chennai, Bangalore and big cities have adapted to it.
Okay. Nice. And உங்க ஸ்பீச்ல நீங்க வந்து நம்மளோட டெவலப்மெண்டல், western model of development பத்தி சொன்னீங்க. I also feel that we are blindly following the Western model of development, which is wreaking havoc in our environment. This is especially tragic since Indian knowledge systems stress the importance of sustainability, of living in harmony with nature, respecting life. In fact, it's coincidence that we are now in the Adi Masam where our festival seasons begin, and we start with, living in harmony with nature. First, we will start our festivals only with praying to nature. We do our puja to river goddess. So how can we move to a more thoughtful, indigenous model for life and development?
Ma'am, I think it's a great question, but if you don't mind a small deviation, I'll again get back, ma'am. So just a small deviation. Whole of Tamil Nadu pathina the last oru varam vandha Kanda Sashti Kavasam. I'm just linking this to your question you asked. Kanda Sashti Kavasam insult pantanga and politically people are talking. Now when we look deep down into our culture, Kanda Sashti Kavasam oru udaharanama eduthukitinga appadina, so written by Devarayar about 200 years back, அவர் எழுதின ஒரு பாடல். அதை நீங்க கரெக்டா அந்த காலத்து தமிழ் 200 years பேக்கு தமிழுக்கு நீங்க லிங்க் பண்ணி நிறைய டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன் இன்டர்நெட்ல இருக்கு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, it talks about the 7 layers of energy systems around you. It talks about controlling your inside energy. It talks about channelizing that energy to prevent any sort of disease. இதெல்லாம் உள்ளதான் மேம் இருக்கிறது. But this will happen only when we are very close to nature, because being close to nature is the very natural way of living. Remaining எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா artificial way of living ஆயிருது. But natural way of living இருக்கும்போது என்ன ஆகும்னா மேம், you focus more on yourself, more on your energy system. There is an interplay with everything that is around you. அதை தாண்டி இப்ப நம்ம வெளியே வந்தாச்சு, where there are a lot of things that control me outside, cell phones and technology and all those stuff. So that is why probably this generation is the most disappointed generation. Despite achieving everything, they're very disappointed. They are not very happy, not very contented, very jumpy, நிறைய cancer patients, a lot of lifestyle diseases நிறைய இருக்கு மேம். So இது மாறணும் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, we have to first understand that science might not give answers to everything. Possibly in some spaces, science might be at least 200 years behind us, some places. That is what the great scriptures say. I'm not talking of a religious scripture, but scientific scriptures written a long time back. திரும்ப அதெல்லாம் கொண்டு வரணும் மேம். The way we eat, the way we live. ஒரு காலத்துல தமிழன் எப்படி வாழ்ந்தா மேம், உங்களுடைய உணவை நீங்களே உற்பத்தி பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு ஒரு காலகட்டத்தில் இருந்துச்சு. அதாவது ஒரு உணவனாச்சு நீங்க எடுத்து நீங்க அதை செஞ்சு சாப்பிடணும் அப்படின்னு. It could be a small cucumber, it could be a small thing that is grown in your thing. You eat it so that you connect with nature. இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா everything is grown 200 kilometers away, 500 kilometers away. Many things we import and eat. So எல்லாமே மாறிடுச்சு மேம், everything and the way we live and way we use technology, everything has changed. And we don't live with our parents anymore, grandparents anymore. இதெல்லாம் உட்கார்ந்து யோசிக்கணும் மேம், because normally when we go in a speeding train, everything will appear very blurry to us. Same thing is happening with our life. We are on a very speeding train and everything is blurred to us. I hope and pray people take a moment to sit back, reconnect. And Tirling ma'am, many of you, how many of you had the opportunity for News 18 Tamil, for the first 21 days of lockdown, I wrote 21 articles ma'am, 21 series of articles. All series of articles was exactly this. Every single day we took one, we wrote about that. One day Anmigam, one day about food, one day about our old life, all those stuff ma'am. So நிறைய அதில் பேசியிருக்கோம் ma'am. Maybe I'll share the link. So I had the opportunity to write ma'am. So நீங்க கேட்ட அருமையான கேள்வி ma'am, but only an individual person can be a change agent. They have to really rethink their lives.
Okay. That's nice. So as John F. Kennedy famously urged, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. So definitely நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும்னு தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பார்க்கணும். That's nice. Febin, how many more minutes we have? How many questions can we have? Because we have many questions.
Yeah, we can go on maybe another one question. By 8, we'll try to close.
Okay.
Is it okay, Mr. Annamalai?
Absolutely fine, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Mr. Annamalai, could you please share one situation when you realized, in spite of testing time, staying true to yourself gave deeper meaning to life?
Ma'am, please repeat the question, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Could you please share one situation when you realized, the self-realization, in spite of testing time, staying true to yourself gave deeper meaning to life?
Okay. Many times, ma'am, many times. So what happened is, as a cop, I don't know, maybe the insiders will say, I always put a lot of premium and effort on protecting my men. Police level is very important, ma'am. A lot of people are under you, sub-inspector, inspector and all ranks. There is a lot of political pressure. So for me, the first thing I always do is I insulate them. Any problem I take, there'll be a lot of pressure on me to transfer them. There are instances where I got transferred. I was posted to a district for only one day as SP. But every single time it is because I was protecting somebody. I was not allowing somebody to touch boys under me. I always used to take a lot of pride and a lot of happiness doing that, ma'am. So that I was always clear, always clear, because my job as a leader is to protect my men so that he is absolutely comfortable to be fearless to take those actions. But for which I suffered professionally. A couple of times I suffered professionally, and a medal that was due was not given, but doesn't matter. In the long run, it doesn't matter. It's all small things here and there. But right now, when I see them growing up, when I see all my boys with superb confidence doing great in the field, I feel happy and proud, ma'am. So that is one moment, ma'am. Maybe it's a personal loss to me, but I'm not saying again that is a loss, but very pride moment for me. Never sacrifice that stand anytime, ma'am.
Very good, very good. There's one question relating to again the politics. When even sports persons are trained and selected to represent at district, state and national levels, why is that there is no training and selection process for a politician? I think he means for contesting itself. Is an entire country cheaper than sports?
Oh, this question requires at least 4 minutes, ma'am. Maybe 7:55 now, 5 minutes I'll take and finish it off, ma'am. Thank you. Now, this is a question always people ask, ma'am, in colleges, wherever I have the opportunity to speak. They say, politician got a degree, politician got training, how can they contest the election? I go back to the era of Kamarajar, ma'am. If you happen to read his life story, read his book, and this guy never went to a school, even when rains came. This guy never got trained anywhere. A proper son of soil, climbed all the way up. I'm going to say one instance, not about Kamarajar, but about 3 people. Kamarajar's cabinet itself, the answer pannave namak therinjirum, ma'am, where are we going wrong? So Kamarajar had 3 legendary people in his cabinet. So 1954, when Rajaji resigned, Kamarajar took over as a CM. So Kamarajar had Kamarajar, he had Kakkan, he had Jiva. 3 stalwarts. All 3 you put in a justice scale, all 3 will be equal. Not even one fellow will go up, one fellow will come down. அப்போ வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு நாள் வந்து Kamarajar goes to Jiva's place. Jiva was our minister then. When he goes to Jiva's place, he found Jiva is not coming out. Kamarajar சொல்றாரு, நான் வந்துட்டேன்ப்பா, ஜீவாவை கூப்பிடு. Because Kamarajar has to pick him in his car and go to an official function. கதவை தட்டுறாங்க, ஜீவா வரல. So Kamarajar sent somebody, போய் பாருங்க ஏன் ஜீவா வரலன்னு. உள்ள போய் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஜீவா had only 2 dhoti. ரெண்டே வேட்டி தான் அவருக்கு இருந்துச்சு, மேம். ஒரு வேட்டி கட்டிட்டாரு, ஒரு வேட்டியை புளிஞ்சு போட்டாரு, அது வெயில்ல காஞ்சிட்டு இருந்துச்சு. So he has to wear that வேட்டி, that dhoti, and join Kamarajar for a function. இவங்க எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா everybody came from grassroots. They did not want any training or any degree, everything. The life itself taught them everything. That is why Kamarajar, even now, nobody could beat the canals that he built, the dams that he built, the schools that he built. Even now, despite the so many technologies we have, ma'am, our period la katna idu inna yarume thodakodalla. Not even people have reached 50% of Kamarajar. So different class they are. But right now, political aspiration irukra pasanga enna pandranga, ma'am, the new people, they straight away jump. Though they have good intentions, straight away they jump into politics. It doesn't cut much ice, ma'am. Because Indian election pathina, the first thing is more about identity. We have to get identified. The second thing is about familiarity. The third thing is more about connectivity. Are they really connected to us? Now, phone panni pesirukana. The existing political guys have already done it so much many times. So new guy pathina, the grassroots approach ellama direct kudikiranga, ma'am. That is a big problem. So irukra politician kuda pathina yen namak very bad ah theriyiranga appadina, I would blame 50% of the system. A book varapodhu, ma'am, Bloomsbury, I have just written a book for them. It will get published in the month of August. There is one chapter exclusively on the Indian politician. Yeah, eppadi irukanga, eppadi maatha mudiyum sollitu, ma'am. One thing I have mentioned there is people have become bad over a point of time because the system is corrupt, system is so bad, and the people also don't put emphasis on them. A bad guy, if he's bad, people should elect him out. But unfortunately, Indian democracy, a bad guy gets re-elected because in the moonu vishayatha avan use panikran. He uses the connectivity, he uses the familiarity. Rendu use panikran. For a new guy entering without a grassroots approach is tough. Makkal ungalai paakala. We never sweated in the sun. We never changed a common man's life. Idu maranum ma'am. So when we do it, maybe that is a training we are asking. A new guy has to go through the training. So Kamarajar got trained by his mother, trained for about 20 years, 25 years. Same thing if you apply to Anna born in Kanchipuram, brought up by a foster mother. Anna kuda pathina tattu thai dhaan valathanga. Though he had a mother, but innorthungalukku kolandhailin Anna thukit poitaanga. So they grew up Anna in a certain way. So Anna is Anna, 1967 to 69 Tamil Nadu CM, but fantastic man, fantastic he has done. He renamed Tamil Nadu. He brought a lot of systems in place. I think Tamil Nadu is very lucky, ma'am. Whereas state you can name one leader or two leaders, but Tamil Nadu had a fabulous leaders. The whole problem is in the last 10 years because you adhe opportunity la grew mai varala, ma'am. They never came back the humble way. So right now it's money. I'm a real estate guy. I can spend 2,000 for every vote. Straight away I get a ticket, I come in. This is a problem. I'm a movie star. I have a lot of fans. I convert them into political actors. I come inside. It's a problem. So this Tamil Nadu, unfortunately, the last 20 years, ma'am, ideology has taken a backseat and a grassroots connect has taken Arla sir has mentioned last 30 years actually. I agree with you, sir. This maranum, ma'am. The training is not happening. That is why we are seeing very bad political actors who are in our theater now. I'm not sure whether I answered your question, but this is what my impression, ma'am.
Okay, good. So now we have come to the grand finale question. Many of our alumni members, not only residing in Tamil Nadu, in India and abroad, the NRIs even want to know, in what way can alumni help in your mission?
I think in many ways you should help, sir. I think people who are above 45, 50, who are really contented with life, there is a huge political opportunity that is available for you. You need not contest elections, 100% no. But you can really shape up a lot of political guys. All you have to do is connect, ma'am. You have to connect. I still remember in 2010 in IIM Lucknow, I sent an email to Banduti Ramachandran, who was a presidium chairman of DMDK. Just a small email. I said, I'm so-and-so. I would like to work for you. Can I come? He said, yes. So, and the initiative, so you should come back to our state, maybe by emails, maybe by video. Now technology is a great leveler now. Start grooming the current generation of politics. You email 100% they respond to you. You take my word, sir. That's why one pannalam. If enga mission ku direct neenga contribute pannum nenachinga appadina, maybe the leaders, the farming project and the skilling project. We have a project called Project Sunrise, along with 247.ai. It's a big project we run. So neenga mentors varla sir, advisors varla, engle mentor pannalam. So neenga help pannalam engalukku. So anal neenga larger space la paakala sir. One, you can help us, and second, you can help our state also. But I would advise you to groom the current political setup. Konja groom pannunga, let them start thinking right. Train those cadres. Our cadre train pandrathu periya opportunity. If you are free, you tell Mr. Kamal Hassan or Mr. Tamilna or Mr. Rajni or Mr. Seeman or Mr. Stalin, whoever it is, Mr. Edapadi, just connect with them. Tell them that you are willing to train their cadres for free on people management, personality development. Kandipa utkuvaanga. Neenga romba bayapadadinga. Ayyo nama veli irukom, nammala ulla po mudiyadunu. It is always the outsiders who make the difference. Always the outsiders. You all have to do is an email or a Twitter connect. So அதை பண்ணுங்க. நம்ம ஸ்டேட்டை கொஞ்சம் பொலிட்டிக்கல் டைரக்ஷனை சேஞ்ச் பண்ணி விடுங்க. சோஷியல் ஆர்கனைசேஷன் எங்களை மாதிரி நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ மேபி some are run by alumni, some are not. Please mentor us. Please give your experience to us. We would like to really know your path and your journey and take it to our volunteers and groom them the better way, ma'am. Thank you for asking this question, ma'am. If any of you are willing to help us, it will be a great privilege and honor for all of us. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Annamalai. மாற்றம் ஒன்றே மாறாதது. ஒரு மிகச்சிறந்த மாற்றத்தை உருவாக்க, அந்த மாற்றத்தை உருவாக்குவதற்கான ஒரு மாற்றுப்பாதையை தனக்கென தேர்ந்தெடுத்து அந்த பாதையில் பல மாற்றங்களை உருவாக்கி கொண்டிருக்கும் நமது அண்ணாமலை அவர்களுக்கு உங்கள் அனைவர் சார்பாகவும் நல்வாழ்த்துக்களை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். And thank you so much, Mr. Annamalai. Thank you so much. Over to Fevin.
Thank you, ma'am. Big shout out to all the organizers, ma'am. I'll be failing in my duty if I don't thank you. It is one of the best webinar I have attended. Very professional, very thorough, right down to the mic check, right down to everything. So fantastic, ma'am. Thank you so much. So it's a honor and privilege, ma'am. Ramban Nandri, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Annamalai, once again, for your candid and transparent take on all the topics. And we wish you all the very best for all your endeavors. And we hope to keep in touch with you.
Anytime, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks, Jayanti, for maneuvering the session and giving us all a wonderful experience. I once again thank the team that worked behind this webinar. Lakshmi, Karthi, Venkat, our EC members, Ravi, Anant and Vadivel, along with me, Jayanti and Ratna, Prabram sir, and all the EC members who have supported. And I thank all the participants today. We have extended the session. You have all been very patient, and also for the questions that you have asked, which made the session more, very interesting. And I'm seeing the chats, so much of feedback, so much of positive thoughts for you, Mr. Annamalai. So I'm sure you also have seen it. I have a request to all the participants. Please fill in the feedback form. I have posted it a few times in the chat, and will also be sending you mails. Please fill the feedback form, which will take only a few seconds, so we can further enhance our alumni interaction experience. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.